Well, I've been making releases since the late 60s. Yep. Whatever you see out there is usually a copy of one of mine that I've either discontinued or that they're making now. I invented the first wrist strap.
You're kidding me.
No,
The destination is on your left.
Haven't showered in 4 days. I have 47 mosquito bites. We are in southern Idaho. We're gonna bring you guys to Carter Enterprises. Dan.
Jerry Carter.
Guys, welcome to the ElkShape Podcast. We're in Southeast Idaho, kicking it with a legend, Jerry Carter. How are you?
A legend in my own mind, huh?
Chocolate Addiction, 3-finger, 4-finger. One of our top 2 selling releases. Chocolate Light, convertible. This came out in about 2016. So it's called the convertible. Right here it's set up as a thumb trigger. And you can convert it around, put your thumb peg on this side, use your ring finger to release.
I'm not flipping you guys off, I promise.
Easy large, comes in a large and a small.
And they said that they were legal, and I went home and I worked all night. Made me my first trigger release and went back down and won the tournament with it. And guy says, "Can I see that?" And I said, "Sure." Well, that release came out later on. I won't say who made it, but it came out and they did well with it.
First choice, all the same internals as a Wise choice, exact the same as the Wise choice, the way they line up. 4-finger of the first choice. Insatiable, big sway, closed hook. Insatiable 2, it's the same closed index finger. Insatiable 3, great for smaller hands. Doesn't really fit in my hand, but smaller hands, girls, women,
Gotcha.
A lot of women really like these.
Yep.
Just because, yes. So all the same internals. Just Cause, same as the Just Because, except for the Just Because has the suede back. Plain one, great for big hands. Got the shorter neck, so this is the same as the Too Simple, but with the index hole.
I built this one to match the old ledge release that Pete Shepley made. Made it the first double sear release that was made. It's just incredible, the trigger on this thing.
So this is like one of your first release aids you ever made?
Yeah, this is pretty much the first production one I made. I made them all by hand, so.
Target 3, Target 4 still uses that same trigger system that's in all the others, the BK system. Now to Dan's favorite, apparently. Didn't know that. Too Simple. It's got the shorter neck length. So has 3 internals. The 2 right here are the same as the Wise choice and the first choice, just with a shorter sear. That gives the people that shoot it just a lot closer feel to the D-loop. Okay, these are some of the original Whispers. We still have some of the original Whispers in small in stock because it uses magnets. And magnets, they're either touching or they're not. Having the travel adjustment in it was kind of just not needed. I mean, it does help. Having an older Whisper, great release. Like Mike 2's, great all-around release, target release, hunting release, or Quickie and the Quickie Plus. We discontinued the Like Mike 1. The Like Mike 2 has a different tension adjustment. So right there, that adjusts how hard you have to pull to get your trigger.
No set
screw? No set screw. Got rid of the set screw on almost all of our releases.
I noticed that. I got a Wise choice, as I bought a backup one, and I'm like, where is the set screw? And I'm like, they doesn't have one.
Yeah, I get a couple calls a day about that, actually, because a lot of them are getting sent out with the old instructions.
Okay, you guys heard it here.
Okay,
The
if you got
new
it,
ones.
new ones don't have a set screw. RX1, the same trigger system as the Quickie, but uses magnets to reset. So you fire, as soon as it comes into contact with that magnet, it's reset, it won't move. 2-shot, awesome hunting release, awesome anything release, whatever. This release has been around for a long time, and it's a great release. Not one of our best sellers, but it really, really could be.
The Like Mike 2 is caught my interest. I told you guys I wouldn't mind hunting elk with an index, although I love handhelds. And I like thumb barrels, thumb buttons. But we're going to show you, never seen before, on video that I know of, how you can take your Like Mike 2 and you can request that Carter gets you a ball bearing to make it considerably heavier, like a 3 or 4 pound pull, which is what I like, or I prefer on an index. I don't want it super hot. So we're going to show you that, because in the heat of the moment when you're about to kill an animal, you're already going to have great, tremendous pull-through strength, more than you usually do during practice. So having a little extra poundage, in my opinion, doesn't hurt. We'll show you that, never seen before.
I was working 24 hours a day, about 5 days a week, and it almost killed me. So then I got a little help and stuff like that.
Here we've got all the currently available Carter hinge releases. Honey comes in a 3-finger, 4-finger. The Honey 1 and the Honey 2 both have a safety system.
And the safety is super simple. It's like, that's it. In and out.
Yeah.
So you
in
can
and out.
pull back and then get your anchor, and then you like, all right, push it out. You're off safety.
Honey 2 has a straight bar, but the way the safety works is reversed. You've got the total control, 3 and a 4-finger, only and a 4. We've only got the only small still in stock, 3 and a 4-finger. There are 2 moons. That's Envy. Great release, super adjustable. It's got the click on your hinge, which a lot of people like. The only ones that don't have a click anymore are the Honeys. The
Gotcha.
older Honeys do have a click. They
Right.
had the double moons. The Only does not have a click. Yeah, so resistance activated. Great for target panic, punching trigger. Really helps solve that issue. We got the Evolution 20, the Mini Evolution 20. Great for smaller hands. Traction, Evolution 2, Revolution. That's one that's a little older.
This is probably the best release I have ever made in my life. It works on magnets, has only one spring in it, and it's the most torque-free release of anything I've ever made.
Guys, are you overwhelmed with all the options yet? I know I am. What we're going to do is we're going to go fix a couple of my releases and take a look at the internals, which I've never done before, so we're going into surgery. But before you guys get overwhelmed, inundated with all these awesome options from Carter, I would say get yourself a hinge. I think everyone owes themselves to have a hinge. Get yourself a thumb barrel, and then get yourself an index. I think you should have all three, be able to use them. And if you need some training, a release, a tension activated release could be some good best practices. For all you out there wondering, well, you just put out 30 release aids, which one should I use? I'll tell you what. First, identify if you have sausage fingers like myself. If you got big meaty hands, I'm medium-sized hand, but they're just sausagey. And then this guy here, David, he's got large hands and they're sausagey, which is even worse. So you got to figure out your hand size and what's going to fit well in the contour. Once you're done with that, then you need to probably look at, let's talk about the most popular ones. So tension activated, what's your number one seller?
Evolution 20.
Evolution 20, why?
Just really user-friendly, safe to use, consistent.
Perfect. Hinge.
Honey 2.
Honey 2, it has a safety. It doesn't have a click though. Which one would you recommend for that does have a click?
Too Smooth. John Dudley sells on a knock on.
Okay.
We do all his manufacturing.
Yeah, so the Too Smooth, I think that's a good one as well. It's a little bit smaller though.
Yes.
Does he have options for sizes?
No.
Okay, so that might be one hiccup there. And then for the thumb button or the thumb barrel, man, I'm going to speak to it. I think the wise choice is the number one seller. I think for a good reason. 3 or 4 finger. I shoot the 3. Do you, but that'd be a great place to start. Now that we've not scared you, let's go fix some release aids and look behind the scenes of all this inners.
It aligns so good. If you move your fingers, the jaw isn't really moving. It's staying in the same place.
Oh, wow.
And then it's so easy to go from light to heavy. I love this thing.
You got your case screws out. Back out your locking screw just a little bit. You don't have to take it all the way out because that's really easy to lose.
Okay, so you're backing off the tension all the way out.
Tension all the way out.
Spring coming out.
Spring comes out. Just if it's on the table, you're less likely to lose it when you open the whole thing up. Put it in a Ziploc bag.
Because all the internals are going to come flying.
They might not.
Okay.
But it's a lot easier to not lose a screw or a spring than to lose a spring. Open it up. Yep, so that one right there. This spring, my hand caught it on the way out. It would have been gone.
Damn.
Okay, so she's open. All your internals. You can see all the dirt in here, a little bit of rust.
What? Dirt? No.
But keeping your releases clean goes a long way, and that's really pretty good for a 10-year release.
Damn.
Yeah, that's great.
Wait till you see the other one though.
Okay.
That could have been my backup. I'm not sure.
Okay, so from this point, I'll pull out all the internals, all the dowel pins. If you have dowel pins that get stuck, just be really careful prying on them. Don't twist them side to side. If you make that hole loose, you're going to mess up your release.
Okay.
Pull straight up. If that hole gets loose, you can have a hang fire because these won't operate on a parallel.
Okay.
These engagement points have to operate on that parallel or it might hang up on you.
And this is what's working to make the release aid go off. That's your sear and your
Cocking lever,
trigger.
Yes. And that's the vocabulary we use here. So if you call in asking about your release, sear/hook, cocking lever, trigger.
Trigger, cocking lever, sear.
Yes. So from here, I'll actually take it out and do a solvent bath.
Okay.
Wash everything down with the solvent.
It's probably the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
Get it, dude.
Shiny, cleaned up. So when they're in there, you can feel this dowel pin. You can see it wiggle like that. I'm going to take these back out and do something different. This is something I would do if you're having that issue. I wouldn't recommend doing this yourself.
What's the turnaround time on getting a release back?
From the time we get it to the time we send it out, we try to keep it within 10 days. This is something I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you do at home, but if you're super savvy, then go for it. But take a 632 tap, and we're just gonna put some threads into this case hole. It only takes 1 or 2 thread. I'm barely going in at all. This is just enough that I can take these dowel pins that are in here and press fit it down in. Keep it from wiggling, keep it from moving, keep you operating those contact points on a parallel. You gotta get the burrs off of the rim of the hole. Arbor press. Make sure that those pieces are flush. Check for any gap on the bottom there. Just a little push. You don't want to push too hard. Do that with all 3 of them. Okay, not wiggling, tight pieces. All new springs, cocking lever spring. Put it in there, engage it. Sear spring, kind of got to work it, wiggle it in there. It's kind of tight fit, but it does fit. Okay, right there, make sure you have this little rubber dampener. Not mechanical necessity, but keeps your release a little bit quieter. Okay, now she's ready to go back together. Check for gaps. Perfect. Trigger spring. And look at that screw. That screw needs to be replaced. We'll send that out with it too.
Okay. We threw it away. Yay, it's like a new release.
These threads, super worn out, tired. 1032 tap. Feel the threads catch, and it's not gonna actually tap anything, just run it through once.
I'm
Clean those
thinking
threads up.
most people should just send their stuff in.
Yeah, definitely. Most people are more likely to mess this up than to do it right. Just gonna run that screw in, make sure that it runs smooth before I put the release all back together and have to tear it apart again. Okay. Great. Dowel pins already have their oil on them. Okay, dampeners in, springs are all good. Pieces are all flush. Perfect. Tension spring, trigger spring. And this one, you just want to adjust it to your preference after it's all together and everything. When I'm putting it together, you can just feel it right there. It's loose, you can feel that spring hit. And I like my triggers light, so I just go to where it's right about there. Okay. And case screws, so it doesn't come apart on this. Just snug those up, you don't have to squeeze them tight. Okay, and now the travel adjustment. What we do when we send them out, this travel screw, you're gonna turn it clockwise. Right here, trigger's engaged. Turn it clockwise, keeping forward pressure on it to make sure you're not just pulling the trigger down. Keep forward pressure on that screw. There, it set itself off. Back it off, 1/4 to 1/2 turn. That's what we send them out stock as, that amount of travel. Locking screw. Now these ones, you just barely snug them up. It doesn't take a lot with that little nylon tip on the end of it. You just barely snug it up, and it's enough to keep that screw from moving. Just hardly any pressure at all. Put this barrel back on. And you can put the washer on however you want. I like it on this side. It kind of stays out of your thumb's way. Meshes right up against this bigger barrel. There we go.
I'm going to tell you right now, every bow you shoot will shoot in the same hole. Forgiving is only from how steady you can hold it when the shot goes off. The release will make you a chump or a champ.
Whisper 2, it's the updated version of the Whisper. Here's the 2-finger with the optional third. You can pull that on or off depending on how you like it. Here is the 3-finger that I'll put together right now.
I may steal this one.
And you can see how it works and also why we call it the Whisper, because it is quiet. These little rubber dampeners act on every single contact point between the release and the steel internals. So anywhere that these internals will hit the case and make a noise, there is a dampener there to stop it.
When did this release come out?
Originally, the Whisper came out about 15 years ago. Don't quote me on that. But this one will be released in the next about month or two.
Oh, snap. And it's called the Whisper 2?
Whisper 2. So all dampener springs assembled. And it uses magnets. So there's one spring in there, but all the trigger tension comes from these magnets. Hook reset right here comes in contact with that magnet and holds it in place.
Nice.
Trigger tension comes from that magnet. Now I like just one magnet, and if you like a lighter trigger, just stick with one magnet, first one down. If you like a heavier trigger,
Double up?
Double up, triple up. You can put all three in there if you want. It also has a little storage spot for
that's
extra
slick.
magnets right there.
So those two are your extra, and then if you want to make it heavier, you just add one or add two. Okay.
Yeah. This adjusto bar to come off of the trigger gives you a lot of range.
Like that.
I like it to sit right down here right at my thumb knuckle.
Love it.
Just very little movement, easy to settle in, easy to draw back with your thumb underneath, put it right on top.
Pretty slick, man.
And this trigger, you can swing it around however you like it.
I made the like mic for Michael Braden. I wanted to change a few things on it, so we called this the like mic 2. And they're both double sear releases.
Like mic 2, it's the updated version of the like mic. This is the original, it's been discontinued. Both great releases. The like mic original is a little bit longer of a body, but same distance hook to trigger. So your anchor point won't change, your finger placement won't change as you're shooting. The reason that we switched one of the main ones is the adjustability. So your wrist strap feeds through here, and that's the hole you use to change your adjustment. And your wrist strap is kind of in the way. It's just a little bit harder to adjust. The like mic 2 is right on the side of the release. Really easy to adjust, super user friendly. Ones that we have sold have the locking screw, got rid of it. If you have an old set of instructions that says that there's a locking screw, you didn't get a bad release, I guess.
Don't call Davey.
Don't call me. Yeah, it's good. Your release will work great.
Cool.
Okay. Now, so the like mic 2 is a great option if you want to have a heavy trigger, shoot a back tension style release without actually having a back tension.
That's what I want. So you're making this for me. We're going to make it heavier.
Yes.
This is how to do it.
So this is stock. Pulled it out of the stock room. If you had bought one, you probably would have gotten this. I'll put a bow. So I just use a normal bow scale. Put it right in the middle. This is how I test the trigger poundage. And you can get an actual scale to do this. I don't have one, so I do this. And I'll hold that steady and pull it until it goes. That was 0.9 pounds that it took to get it to go. So that was a light trigger.
Daniel don't likey.
Yeah. 1 pound. So that is light. And let's see, we will adjust it without changing anything. Put that tension screw in. Let's see what it goes to. 1.5.
Ew.
So still pretty light. 1.6. Okay. So we're gonna make it heavier. To do that, back this tension screw all the way out. you see there's just a spring inside of there. And we're gonna do two options, kind of doing a step-up process. We'll take this little ball bearing and put it in. Fits right in, doesn't go inside of the spring. This will help to increase the ability for the tension. You can feel it snug up. You can feel it really tighten up. And then, okay. 1.9, 1.7. And there's some variance with this depending on where on the hook you'll put your string.
Yeah, we're getting the ballpark though.
Yeah, so 2-pound trigger with the ball bearing, right?
Or
Next step up, we're gonna add a spring.
oh yes.
Adding in this spring. This spring that's in here won't come out without taking the case apart, so you don't have to worry about that. But this spring's small enough diameter, it'll fit inside of the other, and it's the exact same length. So they'll work in unison and compress at the same rate.
And a ball bearing?
I'm gonna do and a ball bearing.
Yes.
Okay, it'll probably, without the ball bearing, it would probably get you up 3 or 4 with the ball bearing. We'll see where it puts us. Taking that right flush, back a little bit. 3.8.
Yeah, boy.
4.2. Okay, so that's what you want. A heavier trigger, rest your release over the end of it, get rid of your target panic punching, rest your finger over the end of it, just pull through. That really worked great for solving a lot of your problems with the wrist strap. We're gonna give one away. Just comment below on this video, something you liked about, a question you have, maybe tag a buddy, something. We'll be giving one of these away.
Yay. Let's make this one for whoever we're giving it away.
Okay.
We can match.
Done.
I know there's companies out there that patent everything from an eyelash to a hangnail. I have gone the patent route on, 2 releases? And it's just, I found out that I was just working for the lawyer, and
Yeah.
I would rather, my theory of business is to obsolete myself. When somebody copies me and I just have another idea in my head and I just obsolete what I just had.
First looks behind the scenes at Carter Enterprises here in Southeast Idaho. I think they make the best release aids out there, and we're gonna give one away. Comment below in this video. I'm gonna pick someone. I'm gonna send you a Too Simple, my personal favorite. And I appreciate you guys. Tap the sub. We'll catch you on the next one.